The Lagos State Governorship Election Tribunal has fixed Saturday, August 12, for the adoption of final written addresses in the petitions filed by the governorship candidates of the Labour Party, Gbadebo Roots, and that of the People's Democratic Party, Adediran, popularly known as Jandor. Ahead of the hearing, parties in both petitions have already filed their final written addresses before the three-man panel led by Justice Arumashom. Jandor is seeking the disqualification of Sanwo-Olu and Roots in the election for non-compliance with the Electoral Act 2022 and INEC's guidelines. Jandor and his party are also asking that all votes cast for Sanwo-Olu of APC and the two candidates in the election should be declared wasted. Joining us now on the morning show to discuss the PDP petition at the tribunal is Abdul-Azeez Adediran, popularly known as Jandor, PDP governorship candidate in Lagos State for the 2023 election. Good morning, Jandor. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, sir.
Well, I don't know where to begin from. The matter is already before the tribunal. Final written addresses, as the introduction indicated, will be submitted and will be adopted, on August 12. So I was surprised when I saw that you are our guest. If the matter is already before the tribunal, why not allow the tribunal to adopt all the written addresses, and then the tribunal would take a date and give its verdict? You've been a major plaintiff in this matter. So I ask you, what's up?
Okay, I think at this point, Dr. Bati, the job is already done. All the fact before the courts, there is nothing to add anymore. There is nothing to remove. Our petition is premised on the disqualification of both candidates. Election in Nigeria is held under certain rules provided by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Part of these rules are that whoever wants to run for an election, especially for office of governor of Lagos State or of any state in Nigeria, must be a member of a political party who must sponsor such a person for that election. And that's what Section 177C of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria has amended, provided that you must fulfill that for you to be a member of a party, and that party must sponsor you. And sponsorship includes holding a valid primary and making sure that such a candidate did not submit falsified information or document to INEC. That's taken care of from Section 182, 1J of the
after election, every politician becomes a lawyer.
Of course.
I like the way you are quoting sections.
And if you then go to the Electoral Act, Electoral Act says that, especially Section 82(1) of the Electoral Act says that for a political party to organize a congress or meeting for the purpose of nominating a candidate, it must give at least 21-day notice to INEC, and that is this position of that section. And Section 82(5) of that same section, which ended that section, says failure to do so, we nullify, we render such meeting or primary election invalid. So in our case, we have submitted before the tribunal, fact that these two political parties did not comply with the provisions of that law. And throughout the trial, they did not submit anything to contradict that position, including, calling witnesses and all of that. And secondly, under Section 84(5)(b)(1) of the Electoral Act, it says that for a primary election to be held, there must be a communication, notification from party to INEC, notification that will speak about the date, the venue, which must be authorized by the national body of the party. NEC, and NWC is asking for NEC now. The two political parties did not also comply with this because the notification they sent to INEC was signed by the state chapter of the party, which is, in contrary to that provision. And under Section 84, subsection 13 of the Electoral Act, it says failure to do that, will then mean that your candidates will not be included in that election. It was clear. Okay, so, and throughout this whole thing, you had information about a WAEC saga of somebody. And we have been able to prove to the tribunal with every evidence before them that, look, this person lied on oath to say that in 1981, he sat for WAEC. All right? And there is a section of the law which says, if you look at your Form A-9, you were asked, have you ever presented a forged certificate to WAEC? You said no. And we said he lied on oath. And we needed to prove that. So in proving that, we recall the statement of WAEC result that is submitted to INEC and tender it in court. We then suppose WAEC to come and tell us if truly you have this result in your custody, and come and tender the certificate under oath, because so WAEC came to say they were unable to tender the certificate under oath because they did not retain same. The same WAEC went to tender citizen certificate in Ogun State. But okay, they didn't come with the certificate. We also asked them to come with master lists. So the master list that they came with had a name which is quite different from the statement of result that is submitted, which is also different from all other certificate of ease, like the first degree, second degree, and the NYC call-up letter. It's even different from how he himself put down his name. Okay? The first statement of result that he submitted to INEC had his surname. When you ask about your name, surname, first name, other name. So that statement of result had a surname and first name, no other name. Sanwo-Olu, Babajide, no other name. The one brought by WAEC had a surname, Sanwo-Olu, first name, Olushola, other name, Babajide. The other document that is submitted had a surname, which is Sanwo-Olu, hyphenated this time. Sanwo-Olu, okay, Babajide Olushola, which is also clear, different from that of the one WAEC brought. Other documents have that. And under Nigerian law, and there are several authorities to that effect, that if you have at any time changed your name or added another name, there is what we call a deed poll that has to say, this is me. I changed, or I edited, or I rearranged my name. So throughout the trial, they never submitted such. And he did not even come to testify to say, I'm still the same person. Go ahead, please.
This matter is before the court currently, and it's really important for us not to preempt judgment or to even state the matter or the case before the people, because at the end of the day, it's the tribunal that would decide on this matter. However, I want to take you away from that and just ask with regards to the eventualities. In the event that you don't win at tribunal, just in the event that you don't win at tribunal, go to the Supreme Court, what are the other options for you? Would you be willing at all to work with this particular government or work for Lagos State, or perhaps look to consolidate as one of the main oppositions, one, and two, is the PDP as a party, because you had complained in the past about some saboteurs within the PDP against your ambitions. Have you received the support from the PDP as required or as requested, or are you running this journey solo?
No. So let me first speak to, you see, election is a process. I keep saying this. And it's also stated in the Constitution of Nigeria that it's not an event. And this is part of the process. For many, they thought it ended with counting of voting and announcing somebody. No. The tribunal, the appeal, the Supreme are still part of this process. So until all of this are exhausted, you don't speak to what is next, okay? And this is ongoing. And speaking about whether it is before the tribunal or not, it is before the tribunal. Like I said, this is not, the trial is closed already. Final written address is done. Nobody can add anything, nobody can remove anything, and none of that. So we have judgment from the court. Yes, when we get to, on Saturday, the written address will be adopted, and tribunal will set a date for judgment. But let me say this. we had some experiences during the trial, which, you know, people look at and they begin to look at, are they trying this again? Ordinarily, if we are in a sinner climb, because what we have is a fact and a law. Nobody should bother about anything, but because it is what it is, this is Nigeria. I'll give you an example. When we're doing this WAEC thing, we raised an application because when we supposed WAEC to come, the witness, you know, that came, we wanted to declare that witness an hostile witness. Why? Is because some of the things that we asked him to do, he didn't comply. So in declaring an hostile witness, we give us opportunity to cross-examine that witness. But the court says, no, we cannot cross-examine him because we brought the witness. Okay, we left it, even though we have seen what we're looking for. However, we now decided to throw in an application before the tribunal to say, okay, this is an application. We want WAEC to subject their server for forensic analysis. So what now happened immediately was that the respondent, APC and Sanwo-Olu, raised a counter affidavit to that application, which is normal. Surprisingly, WAEC also came. So one of the lawyers, you know, of Tinubu in Abuja was seconded to come to Lagos to stand for WAEC, to say, no, you cannot look at our server. WAEC is not a party to our case. So this is what now happened. Immediately they filed that counter affidavit. All of them exceeded the number of pages provided by law that counter affidavit should have. And our lawyer raised it in court. So the tribunal struck it out, which means that at that point, that application has no opposition. But yet, tribunal rejected that application. It called for break. There were several, you know, drama in court, long waits, long recess, and they came back after striking out the counter affidavit. They rejected the application. So it caused for worry. It's okay, on what premise are you canceling this? Again, we're supposed to have this final address on Monday. It was postponed to Saturday. Our people went to court. Why? It's because they have this distrust. Maybe they will come behind us. Maybe, you know, they're looking for technicality and all of that. So throughout the trial, what they were saying is that this is a pre-election matter. It cannot fly. But fortunately, in Ndidi and Ngozi Okolie of Anyocha South, you know, tribunal gave a ruling on the 24th of July, saying the issue of sponsorship is both pre- and post-election matter. I don't know if you understand.
Yeah.
So this is where we are now. Now, talking about our party, of course, if you see my petition is Jandor and PDP, not just Jandor. Yeah. Unlike GRV's petition, it's just him. The party is not part of his petition. So, which means that we're still intact within our party. PDP is our party. We still have our party being part of this process, and nothing is wrong within our party.
Okay, I mean, good to see you again, John. I think we've not really spoken post-election.
Yes, no, I was there.
Okay, post-election. Mm-hmm. Good.
At the beginning of this trial.
At the beginning of the trial, okay. I'd like to just ask you this. Mm-hmm. Number one, yeah, you've talked extensively as regards, you know, the petition and all of that. Secondly, I'd like to ask you, in all of this last 1 year, what are the lessons you've learned? Because I'm sure it's been a ride for you. Mm-hmm. You never thought it was going to go this way. You've had a lot of ups and downs and all of that. What has been the lessons for you? Okay, Rufai,
let me say to you that I wasn't caught by surprise with anything that has played out. As a matter of fact, all the things that I tendered before the courts now challenging the election of these people are things that I've kept since last year. Because
you knew this was going to happen?
Of course, I knew it was going to happen. I was coming from APC. I know our second name there is Impunity. We can believe we can get away with murder and do things as if there is no law. So the moment they had their primary last year, I got all the documents I needed. You know, I kept it within me, preparing for a day like this. Same with Labour Party. Take, for instance, what we took to court was that Labour Party candidate was not even a member of Labour Party. He's still a member of PDP. He didn't resign. And we have presented before the court register of Labour Party submitted by Labour Party to INEC, First one was submitted April 2022 to INEC. Second one was submitted May 2022 to INEC. The third one was submitted April 2023, updated with a letter written to say we have updated our membership from May last year to April this year. And none, his name is not in any of this, and we have presented before the court. That's a fact. That's gone in contrary to the provision of the law, which says you must be a member of a political party and must be responsible for that political party. So all of these I have none. You know, during that election, after the first election, and people were saying Labour and PDP come together, this is how you are going to. I was there. And I said, I don't have a problem whatsoever in us coming together. But in doing that, we must put our best foot forward. We must present a candidacy that has no issue. So till tomorrow, nobody has questioned my qualification to run or my candidacy. So this is just it. So I knew it will happen this way.
So we're talking about lessons. Yeah, you've talked about this at nauseam. The lessons you've learned in the past 1 year.
If you're coming into trade of this nature, except you're not ready, a lot would happen. So you have to prepare for everything that's going to come your way. I will say some things I will just laugh. But
like what?
Like somebody coming today to say, I'm still in PDP, I didn't go anywhere, yet campaign openly for another party, you just smile. That's politicians for you. But some of us decided to come here to see how we can change this terrain. We can't continue this way. You understand? Of course, I've seen people who sat with me.
But a lot of people keep asking Jandor that why do you think you can change the terrain for a system you enjoyed the perks of for so many years? Like you said there are certain political parties known for impunity. You also reigned and enjoyed the impunity for so many years. So where did that epiphany come?
I don't know where you get that from, because one, while I was there, I've never contested, I've never been appointed.
Yeah, but
I was
like
there.
They say in Yoruba, Olabe now.
No. If you say Olabe, let me tell you what it is. I was the consultant in that corridor, so I was providing a service which they are paying for.
Which service were you paying?
I was providing media consulting service to them. I was the PR person there.
Yeah, but that means you benefited from the money.
I did not. They benefited from my service.
Okay.
Of course, they benefited from my service. And if my service is not good, if my service is not good, they won't be here.
If you say there was impunity there,
now listen,
and you were providing services to impunity.
I was providing services to the government, not the political party. But because I was there, and because I won't say because, my business is enjoying patronage from there, then I will shut my eyes at some things and I won't do what I'm doing today. That is what differentiates people like us from you.
Why are you taking the stand now? Like, you could have taken the stand earlier.
No. If you'd done that earlier, it would amount to death penalty for you. Okay. Because there's a Yoruba saying that you don't ask for your father's death if your hand never touched the Kuda. Abi? Okay. This is the time to do that.
Before the proceedings started, you were very confident on the same program. You said you had all the necessary evidence.
Absolutely.
And you were sure that, look, the mandate will be given to you at the end of the day. At this moment, do you still have that confidence that you will get the justice that you are looking for? That's number one. Number two, I go back to my first question. Before committing to this interview, did you seek the counsel of your lawyers? Because on this program, the same matters that form the substance of your petition, you brought them up again. These are some of the matters that have already been pleaded in evidence before the tribunal. And although you say final written addresses will be adopted and that nobody can advance fresh evidence, fine, right? But the process is not yet concluded. And you are commenting on the facts of the case, right? Before this three-man panel, although we are not a tribunal, but this is also a court of public opinion.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, that's why I'm very careful not to join you in commenting on details.
Let me
so,
say,
but did your lawyers advise you that it's safe?
Absolutely. Let me say this to you. The day you submit any documents to a tribunal and is received, just like this document we're talking, everything we've submitted to that, they are now a public documents which anybody can access. I'm sure you
are
know
the
this.
plaintiff.
No, I'm sorry. I'm here on the invite of the station. Oh, okay, let's discuss what is going on. Okay, and I will discuss. That is not the issue. But I'm saying when the trial was ongoing, I was not here. Abi? Throughout, I was nowhere. But the final written address is not submitted. It's now a public document that is accessed by anybody who wants to look at it and say, oh, what has these people submitted? And it's being discussed everywhere. I don't know if you understand. All the evidence I'm talking about, they are now a public document. They've been a public. If you want the proceedings of the courts throughout the trial, all you need to do is to approach the secretary of the tribunal, take a citizen copy, they will give it to you. That has nothing to do with whether the judgment would do anything on the judgment. We have presented everything. It's for the judiciary to decide on what they have. But like I said, okay, take for instance, when the tribunal said to us that they have moved the adoption from Monday to Saturday, our people went to court still with the fear of the fact that these people were just looking, because throughout the trial, they did not defend those petitions. I mean, the grounds. They were looking for technicalities. It's a pre-election. They argue pre-election till when the tribunal gave that judgment last week. So this has nothing to do, because we are not in the middle of the trial. It's closed. It's done. All the evidence are now public documents. Anybody can access them. If you approach the tribunal, you get it, and you can do whatever you want to do. Throw it out, discuss it. It is you. But it's not. You are not giving judgment. I'm not passing judgment. But what I'm saying is that these are the things that have transpired in that court, which is now a public knowledge, and this is what I'm not saying they should write the judgment. There are provisions of the law which they have to look at based on the fact that we have presented both parties, and they decide whatever they want to do.
Do you think you will get justice? Are you as confident now as you were before the process began?
Of course, I am confident. You know why? Because there is no ambiguity in what you have presented before the tribunal. Like I said, this is what we said. We said, okay, on the grounds of our petition, this did not happen. And during the trial, till when the trial was closed, till when final address was written by both parties with their own reply on law, there is nothing controverting everything that we have presented before the tribunal. So, and we are relying strongly on the provision of the law, especially Section 136, Subsection 2 of the Electoral Act, which says where the tribunal or court nullifies an election of a person who has the highest number of votes, okay, this on the basis of the fact that he is not qualified in issue to contest that election, the second person with the other person with the second highest number of votes will be declared a winner, provided that such a person is also a member of his political party and also satisfy the provision of the Electoral Act. Otherwise, the next person takes it, and this is where we are on that. So, if they are going to look at everything, and that section comes to play, there is no election. The law doesn't deal with emotion. The two votes are wasted votes because have been issued, they were not qualified. And we see several authorities on this that we have put forward. So we are confident that we will get it. We pray and wish that the judiciary, especially the tribunal, will have the courage to look at everything. Because if I say, Rufai, you did not submit this, you must bring something to counter it. So no, I submitted. As a matter of fact, let me tell you, INEC, which they're just, statutory respondents in petitions like this, was even doing as if they are the one that sponsored Sanwo-Olu in all of their dealings. So one of it was that the letter that we submitted, INEC, in their own final address and reply, which is now public document, wrote to say, yes, the letter referred to an earlier letter. Okay? So the earlier letter in question, did you, whom they submitted it to, bring it and tender it to say, this is it? None. Because there was none. So all of this is very straightforward.
Okay, just on the aside, let me ask you about your deputy governorship candidate. Because one of the things you said during campaign was the strength of her personality, her popularity, that as, against the other candidates, you had the strongest deputy governorship candidate. But it seems as if she's taken her hands off politics. Is that the case?
No.
Is she still fighting with you on this journey?
See, like I said, of course, she's very much on this journey.
Well, she took away all the posters of all her campaign posters.
So, see, after election, just like myself, I took a break, from my work to join the process. And the moment we're done with the election, I resumed back to work. So you wouldn't know of mine because I am not a celebrity just like my secretary. I mean, my deputy. That's what you know of hers. Yeah. You understand? We've returned to work. This tribunal of a thing, I am not the lawyer. I don't have to go to court every day. We don't have to campaign around. So that is it.
But
we are still very much, of course.
You're one of the witnesses.
Yes, of course. I was one of the witnesses. I was even the star witness in my case. So that is done. She's gone back to our work until we have this pronouncement to say she's very much, and we're very much together, just like the party as well.
All right. Thank you very much for your time. We've had quite a good conversation, and we're looking forward to justice being served. Thank you. We've had Mr. Olajide Abdul-Azeez Adediran of the PDP, gubernatorial candidate in the last concluded election here in Lagos State.